Let's get personal with Latanya and Ray. Celebrity media TV. Brand new with the drop, whipping up the lot. Yeah, I'm headed to the top. I bet you ain't know. Got nothing for the ops. Ignoring all the dots. Yeah, I'm headed to the top. I bet you ain't know. Brand new with the drop. Whipping up the lot. Yeah, I'm headed to the top. I bet you ain't know. Got nothing for the ops. Ignoring all the thoughts. Yeah, I'm headed to the top. I bet you ain't know.
It's your girls, and I'm Latanya.
And I'm Ray. And what? We are powered by Celebrity Media TV. Hi.
Hello, Ray. What's up,
Hey.
girl? Hey, you look beautiful. I like your highlights, girl. You look excited.
Thank you.
Yes, you favor
like
your
your
niece
blog.
Olivia. You favor your niece, little Olivia. Hi, Olivia. We love you. Thank you for bringing your auntie Ray up to par.
Yes, thank you,
So
Olivia.
she's always been up to par, Olivia. She's always dressed sharp and really pretty. But you know how we all got to fix our little eyebrows and all that. Olivia, you was teaching her that day, and you see she listened. So it's good because the little people, when y'all speak, us grown-ups listen, Olivia. So keep talking. Never stop teaching people, Olivia. We love
Our
you.
kids matter, and we do listen to them. You're
That's
totally right. And
That's
we
all
have
I'm
to
trying to
say
say.
her name is Olivia Ray. I have to put that out there.
You had to get that out of there.
And she's so cute because she has this dollhouse, right? So she has everyone buying these little things for her dollhouse. She has it all set up. So definitely follow and watch her dollhouse. She has like something on Facebook, Olivia's dollhouse, and it shows the progress that she's doing. She found it like on the side of the road somewhere, and she is like redoing the whole thing. So I love seeing, children and kids actually do stuff like that and be creative. These kids are so creative. I can't wait to see what it's going to turn out. Until then, I'll buy all the stuff she needs.
Yeah, keep us posted. I got to get my niece Daisha like a dollhouse. I found a couple of them on Amazon. She's been wanting one ever since she was little. And I had so many kids, I didn't get a chance to get her one. So I said, I'm going to have her one delivered to her house just for show and tell. You know how they had a little dollhouses. Then when you bought Olivia hers, I was like, oh. So, okay, we're going to keep watching, Livy.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, Ray, did you vote? That's all I want to know. Did you vote?
You know your girl voted.
I know it's all over the media. I've seen you.
Everywhere. Because you know what? The importance of it didn't even really matter because a lot of people were saying, don't vote because it doesn't matter. And I don't know what's true and what's not true. But what I do know is that the history of what voting really is about is so important that it made me want to run to the poll because what we went through to be able to vote is amazing. Do your history, and next time you will definitely go to the polls.
Yes, that's so true, Ray, because I was one that never really liked it to vote. I'll just, and then being in church, you be all caught up, oh God, and God is in control because that's why I didn't vote. Because I'm like, well, hey, it's up to God, and which it still is. But I decided in the natural, I'll start voting. So yeah, I've been voting for the last couple of years, and it do feel good. So yeah.
Your vote matters in one way or another. It matters.
Yes, people go vote. They still saying it's like 60 some thousand. I'm like, what do it take? People still not voting. They said we need like 60 some thousand people still has not voted.
Bro, it's over now. It's too late. So if you didn't get your vote in, like my mother says, kaga, that means like sorry for you. Because most people want to complain about when it comes to voting, about what's going on. But in order for you to be able to complain, you have to vote. You have to vote. Voting is so important. So important.
So true, Ray. That's so true. And you did a great job at showing people your video that you had voted and you was encouraging people to vote. So that was really nice what you had put out. So I'm sure that encouraged a lot of people too when they seen that video. So that was beautiful, sweetheart.
Thank you.
But with no further ado, right? Everybody, this is the cold season, the flu season, the COVID-19 season, the stomach season. And we got a lot of people that's having stomach problems, gas, and all that stuff. So we thought we would bring the good doc on. Our Dr. Charles Wilkerson. The chiropractic doctor, the health and wellness doctor. He got y'all back, but tonight he's going to have our stomachs.
Okay. Well, thank you for the introduction, LaTanya and Ray. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. We're going to talk about the gut today. We're going to spend a little time talking about the gut. But before we get into that, I want to just mention something about diet.
Yes.
Diet is powerful medicine. So what I would recommend is that you do not change your diet or start an intense exercise program if you're on medication or you're seriously ill.
Okay.
Or unless you're under the care of a doctor that's specifically trained in nutrition and the effects on your health. So do not change your medication without professional advice. And when appropriate, share this information with your doctor, because they may want to make some adjustments in your meds or whatever. But always consult with your doctor before you make any changes in your diet or medication. Just wanted to start that. Okay. But on tonight's segment, we will be discussing gut health and some of the problems as a result, mainly of poor diet. It all revolves around diet. So just kind of remember everything the gut is a long tube. The gut is 26 feet long. If we stretched it out from your mouth from the rooty to the tootie, the gut is 26 feet long. And as the things we put in our body, as it goes through that tube, it goes through different processes. And we either can assimilate it or not. It comes out sometimes more than what should come out. And how healthy your gut is determines how it comes out. So, what we want to talk about tonight, we're going to start with a subject that I think a lot of people have had problems with. And that's acid reflux.
Oh, yeah.
Acid reflux. And what acid reflux basically is, or commonly called GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disease, a big name for that. It's when the contents of your stomach gets kind of pulled back up into your esophagus. And what happens is there's a muscle called a sphincter muscle, lower esophageal sphincter muscle, that is supposed, when you eat something, that muscle is supposed to close off. First, it opens to allow your food or beverage through the esophagus, and then once it goes into the stomach, it is supposed to close off. Well, sometimes that fails, and that muscle is either weak or it opens involuntarily sometimes, and it allows that stomach content to rush back up into the esophagus. That's when the problems start. That burning sensation, I'm sure a lot of you have experienced that. It's right under the breastbone there a lot of times.
Breastbone, okay.
Yeah, and it can actually come up. I've experienced it myself, and I've actually tasted it in my mouth. So, that muscle will fail generally for two reasons, and what they really revolve around is your diet. One is the pressure from constipation. When we're in the bathroom on the toilet. If you're constipated, you're going to strain a little bit.
Yes.
And just by doing that, you're pushing up. You're causing abdominal pressure, which pushes up on the stomach. And it can
Oh.
actually push the stomach up through the diaphragm, a part of the stomach. And that's where that muscle, that lower esophageal sphincter muscle, kind of resides. It's in your chest cavity at that point. So, but that constipation can actually be resolved if we get enough fiber in our diet. A lot of us don't get fiber. If you have a diet of mostly dairy and meats, you're getting anywhere between 14 and 30 grams of fiber in your diet. If you shift over and put more vegetables, fruits, that kind of thing in your diet, then that can increase fiber from 40 to 100 grams of fiber in your diet, which is good.
Wow.
So, and there are a lot of things out there that can actually give that fiber. You can take fiber supplements like Metamucil or something if you have trouble.
Yeah.
A lot of people have trouble with constipation. I know sometimes if I don't eat properly, I always know. But if I get that fiber in there, there's no pressure. It'll come without straining.
And then the bloating, Dr. Wilkerson. A lot of women, I know men get it, but they're a little silent with theirs. But women, we bloat and we gloat, and it don't feel good. I don't care what size we are. We bloat, we get bloated, and it don't feel good at all.
Well, that's really pressure, gas pressure from undigested proteins and carbohydrates that's got putrefied in the intestines. That fermentation, that putrefaction creates gas, and that gas can create pressure, internal pressure. Dairy products, milk. People that are lactose intolerant generally have problems processing lactose. That's milk sugar. And, I have to be careful with that because sometimes I'm tempted to eat a bowl of ice cream, and I know I'm not supposed to do that.
Okay.
And I talk about lactose ice cream. There is lactose ice cream, lactate, but it's not easy to find. But, so that's really the main thing. But you also have to work on diet. There are foods that you really should kind of stay away from. I call them crap.
Crap.
Well, the crap foods basically are your, coffee. And I know a lot of people drink coffee and then have an upset stomach. That happens to me sometimes. And I know it's not the caffeine that's causing it. It's actually the other chemicals that's in the bean that actually creates that upset stomach with coffee.
Yes.
And the processed foods. Some processed foods are not good for you because they've been stripped of their nutritional value. Anything that's made with flour, these are things that are hard on digestion. There's also cigarettes and alcohol. People that smoke, that tends to have an effect on your stomach, your gastric, your stomach acid and gastric ability to digest and process proteins. Onions. Some people can't tolerate onions. If you do onions, I like onions, so I generally have to saute or cook those onions because you destroy that chemical in the onion that can cause that gas or that upset stomach. So if I eat onions, I generally try to have them like cooked. You heat them up to destroy that chemical in the onion that generally causes that. Chocolate. I love chocolate, and when I found out that chocolate was one of the culprits, I was like, oh no, I gotta find something substitute. But chocolate can actually cause that. Fruit. Some fruit, citrus fruits especially, can upset your stomach. I can't tolerate tomatoes. Celery. Some not celery, but radishes. These are all, foods that can actually cause problems for digestion. So there's probably other things out there, but there's always those over-the-counter meds that you can take to like your Tums, your your Rolaids.
Wilkerson do not like medicine. Dr. Wilkerson like natural.
Those kinds of things. But the problem sometimes with those, even your proton pump inhibitors that are prescribed meds through your doctors, those can shut down digestion, which is not good because that can create more acid. Well, actually, it shuts down acid production in most cases. So you get undigested food in your intestines, which eventually gets putrefied and creates gas. So it actually feeds the problem. So I think the best thing is just to work on, staying away from those things that can harm you, cause these problems, and focus more on a whole foods diet.
So, Dr. Wilkerson, so I was going back to when you was talking about coffee. Also, coffee isn't good for men for their sac area, the balls, right?
Well, coffee can, and I've experienced
their balls, or
when I was drinking more coffee than I should. Prostate. It can actually cause the prostate, I think, to swell. It can cause urinary. What was that? It can make that prostate swell. So I experienced that personally. Yeah. So I had to kind of cut back and find alternatives to coffee. Teas are good. So you can drink your herbal teas and stuff instead of coffee. It's hard to give up coffee for a lot of people.
It is. So Doc, going back to the acid reflux issue with the throat, because that's an issue that a lot of people deal with their throat, right? So people take the omeprazole, and that is something that it just tames it. It doesn't correct the problem. And then next thing you know, you hear that one of those medicines are on TV. If you took, omeprazole, please call, an attorney's office, because you just never know what this medicine is going to do. So what would you say to everybody as far as the types of foods to eat? Because I know you talked about the type of foods not to eat. What should we eat to correct the problem instead of masking it with the pills?
Thank you.
Well, it's your stomach is sensitive, basically. So you gotta be careful to, you can pretty much stay with your vegetables and fruits, and you can eat a lot of other things, but you really want to just focus on those things that are really causing a problem, because outside of the things I've already mentioned, coffee, chocolate, those things, you can pretty much eat anything else that's not acidic, that's going to increase acid in the stomach, anything that's acid producing. Protein is it's very hard to break down protein. So your stomach really has to make a lot of acid to break down proteins. And so if you could cut back on meats, meats, because it's harder to break that down. So that stomach is working to try to break that down. And if you get incomplete digestion, incomplete breakdown, that creates a problem see, what happens is the acid actually sends a signal. The acid production sends a signal to the small intestines to start the digestive process. If that signal is weak because of low stomach acid, then that food has to go somewhere, so it's going to come back up. Yeah. So, you just have to kind of, I guess, play around with that. A basic plant-based diet, low in fat, high in fiber is ideal for the health of that part of the intestines, the esophagus and the stomach. That's really what I would do. And people with sensitive stomachs, if your stomach is sensitive, then you need to stay away from those things we've talked about: raw onions, green peppers, cucumbers, lettuces, fruit juices. Fruit juices can do it too. Hot spices. I love hot sauce. But sometimes if I put that hot sauce on something, I pay the price a little later.
It's over. Yeah.
So, and another thing you can do, Ray, is you can eat smaller meals more frequent. So you might eat 5 times a day rather than 3 bigger meals 3 times a day.
Okay.
focusing on those foods that you can tolerate. See, and Dr. Wilkerson stay in the gym too. He live in the gym though, Ray, too. So I know Doc don't believe in a lot of meds and stuff because he's a health and wellness. So he's good with telling you natural things. But Dr. Wilkerson, he he go hard. He live in that gym, and it shows. So a lot of stuff he making taste a couple things and stuff we taste, it's gonna tear us down. But he's constantly moving, so that's why gym at the gym, it does me really good when I'm walking because it helps my food digest. And sometimes at the end of the day, if I'm too full, I'll do jumping jacks. I know Dr. Wilkerson don't like hearing that because he's always the believer of, hey, you don't need to eat that much, and he is a living, walking witness. He would not eat all his food. I don't care how good Dr. Wilkerson is eating. Somebody bring him something good to eat. I'd be like, you gonna eat it all? He's like, no, Tanya, I don't have to eat to get full. So that's what take us women out. Okay, we wanna. It's so good. We want it to last.
Well,
we want to eat it right.
You know what? I notice water helps me.
Water.
To keep water, to drink water helps me, and not eating late at night because that's when it comes up, and that's when it causes problems.
If you're having problems with reflux, you should eat your last meal at least 3 hours before you lay down.
Okay.
That gives that food time to get, digested and on through your system. That way, when you lay down, it don't come back up again. Another thing you can also do is elevate yourself about maybe, elevate your head part a little bit. Maybe sleep with some pillows on the upper end like that. That gravity would help keep it in like that as well. So just little things you can do to lessen that. Another thing too about refluxing is people tighten their belts. They put their belts tight because they want to look trim and neat. But the tighter that belt is, the more pressure, abdominal pressure, which can create some problems for the stomach and also cause that refluxing activity. So loosen that belt, loosen those clothes. I hate to say it, but losing weight. Abdominal fat, the fat that's in your abdominal can put pressure. Thank
you, Doc.
And that can push up, and cause problems as well. So there's a lot of things you can do, but it's just one of those problems that you got to figure out how to deal with and deal with it in a more natural way rather than relying so much on the meds.
Yeah. Also, Dr. Wilkerson, what if you get somebody that's not a pooter? I'm not just saying this because we're on live. Like literally, I'm not a pooter. I mean, I have friends that's girls like, oh, Tanya, I'm sorry, I keep a lot of gas, girl. And I'm like, oh, it's okay, just get it out. Don't smell like an egg. But I'm not a pooter. I'm not a one that pooter. I may go the whole day, and then at the end of the day, one may slide out, and I'll be like, oh. But I'm not a pooter. Are you a pooter, Ray? You can keep it real because some people are just pooters.
Not really.
No,
that's why stop. It's coming up here. That's what I'm going on.
Doc, you say we're supposed to poop 20 times a day or something like that?
That's normal. 10 to 20 times a day is normal to release gas. 10 to 20 times a day. That's nothing wrong with that. And actually the problem with that, and we're gonna get into this in another segment, but
okay. It do feel good though when
it's probably gonna be a problem. You got too much sulfur in your diet, but it really shouldn't smell. If you got a vegetarian, more high fiber diet, plant-based diet, generally your release of gas should not be real odor causing. I'll put it like
you know what? My God, he said odor causers. My God, mommy, Shirley, Harlan, hi baby. I know I haven't been a good goddaughter, but I'm getting better. I love you and been praying for you. She said an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and stay away from greasy foods at night. And that is the God's truth. Because one day I did grease late at night, Ray and Doc, and boy, you talking about pocket, it just hurted my stomach, but I still couldn't poop. It just had my stomach tight, and that was years ago, so I do know that. But whoo, it do feel good though when you do poop, or whenever I do, I'm like, oh, that felt good. I wish I could poop more.
Well, the main thing is just to again, just be careful. Try to focus on a plant-based diet, low in fat, high in fiber. That's an ideal situation for health. Stay away from foods that you're real sensitive to. Green peppers, raw onions, cucumbers, radishes, fruit juices, hot spices. Eat smaller meals frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and loosen that belt.
Loosen that belt.
Loosen that belt because you know, that tight belt can push up and cause that reflux and activity.
Wow.
Coffee, stay away from coffee, even decaf coffee. People think, well, I just drink decaf. No,
Yeah,
decaf
that's what I was told.
is bad because they use chemicals to process it. Raise the head of your bed 4 to 6 inches to allow gravity to keep the contents in your stomach. And if you can do this, stop all unnecessary medication, you know, over-the-counter stuff. That stuff you buy at the store for acid indigestion, that kind of thing. So that's my take on GERD.
Wow.
And you know what, Doc? What's so great about it is, like you said, there's small changes.
Yeah.
So it's not drastic changes that people need to do to solve the problem. So all this time we're taking this medicine, and all we have to do is make these gradual small changes. Just what? Don't eat before you go to bed. Eat early enough, like you said, 3 hours, so that you don't have that problem with it not digesting. I mean, the foods that you talked about, I mean, it's just so easy that from this day forward, we need to do that to get back.
Yes.
We can't mask the problem. We need to solve the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So, you know,
yeah, because when your tummy is uncomfortable, you feel uncomfortable. You can't fit in certain things.
Or your throat.
Doc.
It bothers your throat. Like you get this burning feeling in your throat.
that's
And it's like almost raw.
Yeah.
Well, right. What's happening is your esophagus, your throat doesn't have that mucus lining like your stomach does. That's why the stomach can hold the hydrochloric acid. But your esophagus and your throat doesn't have that mucus lining, so it's irritating to those areas. It burns, actually. It can actually cause, now there's a NERD, that's GERD and NERD. You can actually have one situation where you're not getting the irritation in the burns. That's a common condition called NERD. But GERD is more common. That's why people feel that burning sensation, irritating the esophagus, the lining in the esophagus and the throat. I've even had it come all the way up in my mouth. I said, no, something's got to change here. So, but following those recommendations, I think will help.
And I know people don't like to hear, but I definitely want to ask you this question, Doc. So, if people don't take care of it, and they allow the problem to go on, what are the end results that could happen?
Well, when you get irritation to the esophagus and the stomach, that's inflammation. Inflammation could cause tissue changes, which could lead to adenocarcinoma or cancer, some form of cancer, throat cancer. See, a lot of people let things get chronic. They let it go until it reaches a point where they go and get that diagnosis and say, well, you got esophageal cancer. I know people that have been diagnosed with that. And it starts with something as simple as acid reflux.
That's
so
good.
Take care of, work on that, because your body goes through stages when it gets sick. And you don't want to get into those advanced stages of this problem. Inflammation is really the lead into something like that. So glad you asked that question, Ray. Good question.
That was Dr. Wilkerson. We always appreciate you coming on. I can't wait till your book come out. It's so much knowledge in that head up there. You guys understand, he has so many degrees. Doc is just so humble. That's what I love about him. But we're going to shake a lot of that stuff out. And it's coming out soon. So
yeah. But also, we do science-based nutrition in our office. So, and it's a system used to determine a person's health using blood work, hair, and urine analysis, with the purpose of restoring your health using nutrition and other natural modalities. And the focus of treatment is to bring the body back into a state of biochemical and physiological balance. So if you guys are interested, we can get panels. If you live in Arizona, if you live in California, I can get that panel to you. You go to LabCorp Quest, get your blood work done. We get the reports. I can do a live on the computer, or we can talk on the phone, and we can get you healthy. We can get you healthy using just your blood work, your hair analysis, your urine analysis. That is the way to get healthy, again, to see what's going on, what's out of alignment, what biomarkers need to be adjusted, and we do it naturally.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Wilkerson. Wow. And if you've been in a personal injury, Where can they come, Dr. Wilkerson? Where are you located before we go off?
My office is located in Stone Mountain at 1230 South Harrison Road, suite number 8, Stone Mountain, Georgia, 30088. And my phone number is area code 404-299-9066. Or you can go to stoneviewinjury.com.
Yes, this was amazing. I cannot wait to the next topic. Okay, you guys got to tune in because he'll be on every other Wednesday at 8:30. Yes, and we want to give a shout out to everyone.
More topics on the gut. There's a lot of other issues with the gut, and I'm looking forward to delving more deeply into some of these other issues.
I know.
Yes, and we're excited, and we know everyone else is going to be excited too.
Yes,
because everybody has a problem with the gut.
Yeah, so don't be scared to ask questions. Don't be shy, you guys. Dr. Wilkerson have the answer for you. And if he don't have the answer, he'll let you know something, another resource.
He will get you the answer. If he doesn't know it, he will get it.
Yes, we appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in. As always, it's your girls, Latanya and
Ray.
We love you all. We love you all. And continue to watch every other Wednesday, at 8:30. Also want to give a shout out to who, Ray? All of our sponsors too.
Yes, Mixed Chicks. We want to shout out Mixed Chicks. Go get those Mixed Chicks products. They are healthy for your hair. You see what
I can't go without it. I cannot go without it.
They're always having a sale. Who doesn't love a sale? Go to Mixed Chicks now. Get that sale.
Pro Boss Enterprises. You need to get your life right. Get your life together.
Yep, she'll do it.
Yes.
She'll get you together.
Yes. Celebrity Media TV. John Williams. We love you.
Yes. We love you, John. Thank you.
We have another life in that life as well, you guys. So we have so much exciting news coming up. You guys gonna see us all over everywhere. We're gonna be your next Atlanta media.
Yes, and we're gonna pull up on you.
Yes.
I know you saw the pictures. I know you're wondering what's going on. Don't worry, it's coming soon.
Woo woo! We love you all.
Fostering the Nation.
Yes, Joshua Etheridge. Y'all stay tuned for that. That's gonna be a big one. A big one. Okay. Oh gosh. We love y'all.
This was great. We love you guys. See you next time.